Check, are we, ooh, hello. Are we ready to stream?
Yeah, you want to run it? See if I'll see what.
Okay.
I have some mic stands, but these are too fat.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Check, check. Ooh, yeah. All right. Lewis, are you ready? Oh, we are. Which camera are we streaming into? There?
Is that what you want?
Or all of them. Okay.
Sure. Oh, it's a little loud in here. Is that the air conditioning? Is this camera? Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Michaels. I am from The Cause and also Delaware Prevention Partners. The Cause stands for Collective Action, Urging Social Evolution. The idea is that with collective action, working together, we can actually help each other evolve. And so, the event that you're at today and the event that you'll be hopefully participating in later today is all about equipping the everyday person to be ready to help those around them, whether it is what you're going to learn today by administering a life-saving drug, Narcan, or simply having the information about what Narcan is, what Narcan can do, and how to get other people in your community to be trained in it. I think that's a helicopter, actually.
I think it's a hell
So maybe Joe Biden might be like coming down on a parachute or something. But I want to thank everyone who came here right now, and we have people streaming in line from Boys and Girls Clubs and from Hope on Deck. We just want to say thank you for taking your time to learn a skill that you can possibly save a life with, but also let's not end it there. Please take this information and share it with someone else. This whole event is about becoming an active member of a community that can recognize signs of addiction, that can be equipped with things to help people when they need to, and some of that means just knowing where your resources are. So you don't need to know all of the answers, but if you are looking for questions furthermore about Narcan, about mental health, about substance abuse prevention, we want you to check out this following website, www.helpishere.com. So, www.helpishere.com. The other number that I want to tell you about, if you're not familiar with it, is everyone's pretty familiar with 911, which is, you know, physical emergencies, fires, things like that, heart attacks. But there's another number that is available for mental health, help, suicide prevention, resource finding. Does anybody know what that number is? Say that again? That's right, 988. 988. And before you leave here at the party today, we have 988 magnets, 988 stickers so that you can take it. But again, this is not just to be trained in Narcan, but to know where the resources are. So if someone around you might be feeling that they need a little help or are struggling, you could say, hey, I'm not sure I know how to help, but let's call 988. Let's go to Help Is Here. With that, it is now 12:30. It is time for our official start of our show. We're going to bring Mr. Amos here, who's with the state of Delaware. He is going to be training us in this room and training all of you at home watching on YouTube and in the comfort of those Boys and Girls Clubs at Hope on Deck. Any questions before we hand it over to the man of the hour? 988 is actually national, but it has localized information. So you can talk to someone who will set you up with local resources. Great question. The question was, is 988 national? All right, so without further ado, I am just going to do one more thing. I'm going to set an intention that because we came together here today, at least one person's life will be changed. And because of that life, that will ripple onto more and more lives. And our efforts today will make the world and Wilmington a safer place. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Amos.
I don't think this is going to stay up, but all right, good. It's good. All right, so good morning, everybody. My name is Amos Quay. I am the trainer educator for the Division of Substance Abuse and Mental Health, just to be sure, yeah. And Welcome to the Narcan training. Now, normally we don't do anything like this where we live stream to everybody, but I think this is a great thing to bring awareness to not just people in Wilmington, but also down Sussex and Kent as well. Because as we know, the lower we go, the worse this thing is, right? So I'm going to talk about what's inside the kit, right? As he said earlier, if you want any more information about how to use Narcan, go to helphishair.de.com and you can get more information about it. We have a longer, more extensive training that's about an hour long, but this is going to be on the shorter side, right? So our rescue kit have a bunch of informations in here. The first thing, when you open up the kit, the first thing that you're going to see is we have the nasal spray, right? Couple of things. One, it's always going to be 4 milligram nasal spray. It's always going to be free. And the only thing that we're ever going to ask people is, would you like to be trained on how to use Narcan? Now, we would love for people to get trained on how to use Narcan, but sometimes people say no. So we do have information inside of these kits that tells you how to use the Narcan, and we have information that goes over the 2 laws that are put in place to protect you, the responder. Delaware is pretty high when it comes to overdose deaths. And we're #1 in the country when it comes to long dose and high dose and long acting opioid prescription, right? So our physicians and doctors are prescribing long acting opioids at a higher rate than any other state in this country. And that is really, really, really alarming. And that's why we work Monday through Saturday and sometimes Sunday to go and educate people on how to use the Narcan. So it's easy, super easy. There's 5 steps, right? I'm gonna go over these 5 steps real quick. I'm gonna give some examples, and then you guys can ask me whatever questions you wanna ask me. So the step 1, identify an overdose, right? So an overdose can look like a lot of different things. Foaming at the mouth, you might have that person visibly changing color. They might turn blue, pale, ashy, things like that. It might be super obvious, needle in their arms, something like that. But the 2 things that we're asking people for are difficulty breathing and unresponsiveness. Difficulty breathing because the overdose takes place in the brain, right? So when a person is overdosing, the opioids would attach to the receptors in the brain, and it'll stop that person from breathing. That's why we see people struggling to breathe, or they might have like the death rattle, the snoring, right before they die, right? So that's the first thing. Unresponsiveness, that person is far gone, right? They are not responding. They are barely responding. Now, step 2 is call 911, but the thing is, a lot of people say, well, when you call 911, because difficulty breathing and unresponsiveness are very vague, they say when you call 911, don't say that person is overdosing. What we say, do. If you suspect the overdose, be completely confident in saying that you suspect the overdose, right? And the reason why we say we suspect the overdose, even though difficulty breathing and unresponsiveness are very vague, is 1, we want to get Narcan to every single person in the state of Delaware. We want to prevent as many overdose deaths as possible. The very first step to administering Narcan can't be something that's so difficult that it's going to make people not want to do it, right? I look at it like this. I can tell if you're breathing or if you're responding, and I don't have to touch you. I can look at your chest. If your chest is rising or falling, I know that you're breathing. Finger under the nose, I might be able to nudge you a little bit. Y'all, if you're not responding, I know that you're not responding, right? So it's real simple. 2, Narcan is not toxic, which is great, right? Because a lot of the times when we come across an extreme situation like this, people panic and we think, oh, what if I hurt this person? Or what if I'm not gonna do this person any justice? But you don't have to have those doubts anymore because Narcan only affects opioids. If that person does not have any opioid in your system, the Narcan will not work, good or bad. But regardless of if it works or not, you are not going to be held responsible if something detrimental were to happen to that person. So that's why we say when you call 911, you can tell the dispatcher you are protected, right? The law is put in place to protect you. Start when you call 911. So why not call 911 first before we do anything? I'm letting you know I suspect an overdose, right? Now, obviously, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. They're not just going to say, oh, just give them the Narcan. They're going to ask, okay, why do you suspect the overdose? Is that person struggling to breathe? Or do you see a visible change in that person? Or you might know the person, so you know their history, right? And then the last reason why we always tell people, to call 911 and be confident is because we don't have a lot of time when it comes to responding to an overdose. This is very time sensitive. If I call 911 and I tell the dispatcher I suspect the overdose, I can get to the point a lot faster than saying, oh, there's a person that's passed out on the floor and I don't know what's going on, and we might have to play 21 questions or whatever. If I say that person is overdosing, they're going to ask overdose-specific question, and I'm going to get to the point a lot faster, right? So call 911. There are 2 laws put in place to protect you. The first law is the Good Samaritan law. We all know the Good Samaritan law protects you against any civil liabilities, any negligence, or anything like that, right? If you've ever, I did a training with a person one time that the guy was a bigger guy. He overdosed in the car, right? To his knowledge, if you want to administer Narcan, the best way is to have that person on the floor or somewhere flat where you can be able to tilt their head up and give them the Narcan, and it worked most effectively. So he tried to take him out of the car. Bigger guy dropped him, and the guy fell. But he was protected under the Good Samaritan law because that is in the course of him trying to administer Narcan. So the same thing applies. It's like CPR, right? And then the second law is honestly my favorite one, and that is the criminal immunity statute. So that pertains to people who are users. I've done a training before, and this story always stick out to me. There was a lady who was using like 20 years ago, and she overdosed, but she was using with 4 other people. And when she woke up, they were all gone. It was a random stranger that was walking down the street that Narcaned her, called 911, went to the hospital with her, give her information on treatment and all those other things, right? She did all these good things for her, right? Now, that happens way more often because people who are users are afraid that if I call 911, I'm going to get in trouble. So we say the criminal immunity statute basically states that you're immune from criminal prosecution if you yourself are a user or a non-user in that situation. No longer do we want you to not act or be scared to administer Narcan because you're fearful that you're going to get in trouble, right? So after that, step 3 is the fun part. We have to give that person oxygen. And the reason why we give people oxygen is because, I don't know if you guys have seen it yourself or you guys seen it in the news, but sometimes when people get Narcan, they wake up and have these adverse reactions where they're real violent, they're angry, or they're real confused and they run away. That happens, right? People get into fights sometimes. So we want to provide oxygen for them. Now, we don't want people to, we don't want you to put your lips on a person that's overdosing because we run the risk of hurting ourselves too. So we have inside of these kits the CPR face shield. Now, the CPR face shield is a one-way valve that allows you to give oxygen to that person while nothing from their mouth can get into yours. They can't blow air into the other way. But I'm going to show you guys how to use it the proper way because people get mad at me regardless of how much I tell them how to use it. So when you open up the face shield, if I can open it up, you're going to see a bunch of writings and words on here, right? Come in a little pouch. See if I can get it out. It's a tiny little pouch. Okay, give me 1 second. I got it. There we go. So when you open up the CPR face shield, it has words on there, right? One of the words that it has on here, it says operator side. It says top and operator side and one-time use, right? This is important because this face shield does not go on you, the responder. It goes on the person that you're responding to. I've had people come to me and be like, man, I was doing the rescue breathing and it wasn't working. And I'm like, oh, well, how'd you do it? Well, I put the shield on. No, it doesn't go on you, it goes on a person, right? Because the operator side is the only side that you can breathe into. You can't breathe from the other side, right? So we lay that person down flat on their back. Before I get into it, I'm going to say this right now. If you're ever going to respond to an overdose, please remember to have gloves and other protective gears like that for yourself. Overdosing is not anything to play with. It's not anything it's not pretty, right? It could be real messy and there's too much going on. Protect yourself. So make sure you have your gloves on. You lay that person down flat on their back. We have to make sure that that person's airways are clear before we can give them the oxygen. So you have to make sure there's nothing obstructing their airways. Once we establish that, we put this face shield on, right? Just like this on them. What you want to do is you're going to tilt the head up, pinch the nose, open your mouth, and then the first time we give them 2 rescue breaths. So 2 deep breaths. We want to watch their chest rise and fall, right? So we've identified an overdose. We've called 911. They've given us the green light to go ahead and administer Narcan. Before we even give Narcan, we give them 2 breaths of oxygen. And then we go into the Narcan. So Narcan is super simple. It's a nasal spray, right? And at the bottom of this nasal spray, it has this expiration date on it. Narcan is good for 3 years, which is great. If you're ever in a situation where all you have is expired Narcan, use it. Expired Narcan works, right? It's better than nothing, right? And I always have to tell people that. So once we've opened up the box of naloxone, right, you're gonna notice it's real small, it's light, and there's a little red button at the back of it, at the bottom of it. This is what you're gonna push in order to administer the Narcan. This is ready to go. You don't have to do anything to it. I've had people, believe it or not, but try to prime it, where they go like this and don't do that. Once you do that and this comes out, you can't use it again. Once it's done, right? Now, that person is laying down on their back, you tilt the head up and the nose, and you push this as hard as you can, and the Narcan is going to administer through the nose and try to go to the brain to knock those opioids off of those receptors. Now, here's the thing. I have to tell people this all the time, especially people who are users. Narcan is great and Narcan saves lives, but Narcan is temporary. Narcan does not get rid of any drugs in a person's system at all. All this does is knock a few of the opioids off of the receptors to restore breathing. We want to get that person to the hospital, right? And I have to say this because a lot of times what happens is people believe that this is the cure and they would Narcan somebody, they would leave that person there, or that person, people are people and they're going to be stubborn, they're not going to want to do whatever, right? And then an hour later, because this lasts about an hour in a person's system, an hour later, this wears off and the opioids that are still in your system would take effect again and that would cause another overdose. And they don't have to use, it happens. Where a person will use, refuse to go to the hospital, they're doing regular stuff, they overdose again, and they die. So the goal is to get that person to the hospital, right? So this Narcan, once administered, travels to the brain, knocks a very small percentage of the opioids off of the receptors to restore breathing. We don't want to go from one extreme to the next. That's why Narcan only gives rid of a very small percentage, right? So now, either one or 2 things will happen after we've Narcan somebody. The second biggest misconception that I see personally that people have is people think that Narcan is supposed to work instantly. Narcan does not work instantly, not always. You might be in a situation where God is looking down on you and you have it real easy, where you Narcan that person, a couple of seconds later they're back. But a lot of times it's not gonna happen like that. And that's okay, we don't panic, right? It depends on that person's biology, right? It depends on the type of drugs they have in their system or the amount of drugs that they have in their system. Narcan is going to take about 3 to 5 minutes to kick in. That's very long in a situation that is highly, highly extreme, right? So that's why it's important to be on the phone with 911 and have people there that are walking you through it, keeping you calm and keeping track of the time. So what do we do when that person don't wake up? We go back to doing the rescue breathing. The more oxygen we give people, the less severe the reaction is going to be when they wake up, right? People are more likely to cooperate when we give them oxygen, which is why we do it. The goal of giving Narcan as civilians is to try to get them to the hospital, administer Narcan to restore breathing to get them to the hospital. So we're doing the rescue breathing for 3 to 5 minutes. We're doing 1 breath every 5 seconds. Right, we do the best we can. We give 1 breath, we watch the chest rise and fall. If 3 minutes go by and nothing has happened, we give them a second dose of Narcan. If we're gonna give them a second dose, we switch the nostril, we give it to the other nostril, right? And you might be in an extreme situation where you have to give 3, 4 doses of Narcan. It happens. Narcan is not toxic. Narcan only lasts about an hour in a person's body. Once it's gone, it's gone. It does not have any long-term effect on people, right? So after we've administered Narcan and that person comes back, one thing I would say, right, regardless of how much oxygen you've given that person, regardless of how great you are in responding to an overdose, always take a step back when you see that person's when they're coming back. We take a step back, allow them to process what's going on. When a person overdoses, they're not in control of their body. They pass out. When they wake up, the last thing you want is a bunch of people that you've never met before all in your face. That makes people scared, right? And then also for your own safety. Because a lot of times when we think about people overdosing, we tend to think about it as, oh, it's a bad thing happening to an unfortunate person, but we don't think about the other side of it where it's a person who wants to overdose. That happens. And you've come across somebody who wants to overdose and you're trying to do a great thing and that person is mad at you because you took away their high or you stop them from achieving what they wanted to achieve. So we take a step back, we assess what's going on, we let them know, hey, you overdosed, I Narcaned you, help us on the way, you're not gonna get in trouble, you need to get to the hospital, right? If they're cooperating, we tell them, we don't want you up walking around doing anything. If you can just lay on the floor, that is completely fine, right? We proceed to turn them on your side because they might throw up and we don't want to, have to clean that up. That's nasty. We don't want to do that, right? So we turn them on their side and the very last step is we wait with that person until a medical professional get there. It's important to wait with that person until a medical professional get there because I've said before, drugs are very powerful, right? They're very potent, and Narcan save lives, but Narcan only works on opioids. The new thing now is xylazine. If that person have xylazine in their system mixed with fentanyl or something, Narcan is gonna affect the fentanyl, but for how long? Because there's still xylazine there and that might take effect. We don't know. So it's important to monitor that person, make sure that they're breathing, make sure that they're fine until the EMTs get there. It's very, 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 very important, right? Now, that's how you administer Narcan. Inside, this is great, and we've given out so many kits, and we get it, every time I go out, which is one of the best part of this job, is get to travel and talk to so many people. I've spoken to so many people who've been grateful that they've had this because they've had to use it and they've saved lives. We all have that power to save lives, right? Keep in mind that an overdose isn't something that a lot of people want to get into. So you guys are doing a fantastic job by even learning how to use Narcan. But I hope everybody takes a kit, and I hope you take another kit. I hope you take 2 kits, right? Because you just never know. There is information inside of these kits pertaining to treatment. We have the Bridge Clinic and Treatment Connection, and that's going to, help people no matter where they live. And yeah, that is how you administer Narcan. That's the short version of it. I could talk for an hour. If y'all want me to do this for an hour long. So, does anybody have any questions or anything? Yes, ma'am. I didn't. Oh, xylazine is animal tranquilizer. Yeah, that's the trink. So yeah, xylazine is not an opioid, so Narcan does not work on xylazine. Narcan only works on opioids. Xylazine is very, it's different. Like you could tell somebody is. So yes, Narcan can. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So one thing I tell our partners is, if you feel the need to put anything inside these kits as you're distributing it to the people that you serve, you absolutely can, right? So if you're a treatment facility, or you could put your information in there, you can give it to them, absolutely. But yeah, this is not doesn't have to be a final thing. The important thing is teaching them how to use the Narcan, giving them the Narcan, giving them the face shield, and, things like that. So, any other questions? No? All right, well, you guys are great. I know it was short, but you guys are great. I appreciate you guys. All right, guys. The Narcan kits are right here if you guys would like Narcan kits. All I need is your zip code, and it's real simple. Yeah.
Unlock a new world of efficiency with Asana. Identify blockers to keep work, projects, and goals on track. Try for free today at asana.com.
Hit pause on whatever you're listening to and hit play on your next adventure. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and conditions.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com. Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture. know how we all have that one friend we go to with all our financial questions? Well, meet Experian, your BFF, as in big financial friend. Experian is going to be your go-to app when it comes to taking control of your finances. Just download the Experian app and get started for free.
sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank NA, member FDIC.
With Asana, AI teammates can help level up your goals by connecting them to relevant projects, so every team knows their role in the bigger picture. Asana, the #1 AI work management platform. Try for free today at asana.com.
Not all meals are created equal. For instance, breakfast has the spicy egg McMuffin for a limited time, and lunch doesn't. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
coordinate tasks across teams and stay on track so your team can spend more time celebrating wins. Try it for free at asana.com. No matter what kind of work your team does, Asana can help manage it. From project intake, to campaign management, to strategic planning and more, Asana works for you. Try it for free today at asana.com.
Check, check one.
Yeah, this one. I'll hand it out. Okay. Oh, God. Jesus. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Diggerness, and I work for Nemours Children's Health. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of a presentation on opioid prevention education and where Nemours kind of fits in the realm when it comes to opioids, which everybody knows Nemours is a children's hospital, and how do we kind of fit in this? But I'm going to go through that. But our real call to action here today is knowing, and I want you to leave here with the knowledge of the Good Samaritan law and how that affects kids, teens, and young adults going through the future. So, is that good? Good. You can advance slide. Okay, quick agenda for today. So I just want to touch on opioids so everybody kind of, we even the playing field. Most of us kind of know what they are, but I want to get everybody on the same page. Then we're going to tie into fentanyl, because fentanyl is the major issue here we've got going on. And then we're going to give you the signs of an overdose, because most teens, sadly, may encounter this. So I want them to know what they're going to be doing and how they can react if they find somebody who's overdosed. And then we're going to go into that Good Samaritan law like I talked about. And then I never want to leave here without talking about how we can get help, because obviously these individuals need that, and I'm not going to just leave here today without giving you those resources. So, what are opioids? Easy question. Basically, it's a naturally occurring substance. If anybody's heard of the poppy plant, my husband personally loves everything bagels. And if you eat enough of those, opioids will show up in your blood work. So they're a naturally derived substance, but it was basically made to help reduce feeling of pain. So most people who are prescribed opioids are in some type of pain, either from a car accident, an injury, or some type of chronic pain they feel. Most of the time, that's where you'll kind of see prescription opioids. And we got some common ones: Vicodin, hydrocodone, Oxycontin, Percocets. Those are the common names we hear. But sadly, a lot of these legal forms of these types of drugs get on the streets in illegal forms. So we know a lot of people who either get these legally and then sell them. We get these illegally from dealers or people who sell them on the streets. And then we have what we call synthetic opioids, which is fentanyl, which we'll get into a little bit later. But anybody who takes these types of medications, prescription drugs, runs the risk of becoming addicted. They're that potent. Even if you're prescribed by your doctor for a certain medical condition to use these prescription drugs for a reason, you run the risk of being addicted. So you want to make sure when you're using them, you use them with the knowledge that you have to take them the way they're prescribed. You don't take them when you're not in pain. You don't take them just because you feel like it. You have to follow the prescription. And what we're finding is, and I can be a testament to this, I was prescribed opioids as a kid when my wisdom teeth were taken out. And obviously I was under the age of 18, so I couldn't pick up my own prescription. My parents had to. They gave the script to the pharmacist. 30 minutes later, my mom got a bottle of pills. There was no explanation. There was no, like, hey, this is the dangers of it. There was no talking back and forth. The pharmacist handed my mom a bottle, an orange bottle, and said, do you need anything else? Next person in line. You're handing somebody who's under the age of 18 basically narcotics that are highly addictive, even though I was prescribed them with a lack of any type of education, which is where we are today. So we want to make sure when we are prescribed these, we know the dangers of them. You're going to probably be prescribed sometime in your life, but if you go in with the knowledge that you take it the way it's prescribed, you do not have a huge risk, but there is that risk. As you see here, the stat that I kind of want to highlight, back in 2016, more Americans died from opioid overdose than car crashes. It took the lead back in 2016, and it's still the number one reason Americans die. So we're making strides. Every year the number gets lower and lower, but it isn't off the top spot yet. So why am I here? Why am I in front of you? Well, Nemours saw that this was becoming a huge issue, or saw that it is a huge issue, and there wasn't much resources around it. It affects Delaware in so many different ways. Obviously, 90% of the overdoses that happen in the state are tied to opioids, and 84% of that is tied to fentanyl. But this middle stat here is the one I kind of want to point out. And this is when I go to middle schools and high schools across the state. And this is always the stat that I want you guys to leave with. Most youth who overdose had no prior history of use. So that, to me, tells me they tried it once. They didn't have a history of addiction. They didn't have a history of living with somebody with an addiction. They were literally handed something one time, they took it, and it ended their life. So that's the stat that I want teens to understand, that I know we're in a day and age where trying things is kind of the cool thing. Like, everybody's passing stuff around. We've got vapes, we've got edibles, we've got marijuana. But one time, that you're not meaning to end your life that one time. You're just trying to maybe be cool or just hang with the cool kids and be in the cool crowd. But as we see here, sometimes that one time is going to have a lasting effect on, obviously, yourself, but the family around you too. And among middle school age and high school age, there's been a 95% increase in the use of these types of drugs. Usually, we start out with the what we call the gateway drugs, which are marijuana, alcohol, and vapes. And those are called gateways because of one easy reason. They're all legal to buy. You can go into any convenience store, any Shell gas station, and you can most likely buy these things. And what's going to happen is you're going to start those addictive properties. Your body's going to go tolerant to it, and then this is what you turn to because your body still needs to feel that feeling of a high. But I want to touch on fentanyl, which is what probably when you think of opioids, you think of fentanyl, because this is what we see on ABC News, that we see a 16-year-old took a pill, and now we're calling 911, and she's overdosed because it was laced with fentanyl. As you can see in that top right picture, that's a pencil. That tip has a little bit of fentanyl in it. That's the amount that could kill somebody, just that tiny amount. Yeah, it looks big on the screen because it's magnified, but hold up a pencil the next time, and that little amount in anything causes you to overdose. It's 80 to 100 times stronger than morphine. We all know morphine is used in situations where somebody's in severe pain. We hear it on all our crime dramas, our ERs, push 40 milligrams of morphine to relieve pain. Fentanyl is 100 times stronger than that, so we can see how deadly it can be. It is a legal form of a drug, actually. If anybody's ever in a serious car accident, a couple of my friends are EMTs. When you're in a serious car accident, a lot of times they will push fentanyl to obviously relieve pain because your body can't heal if it's in pain. But obviously, we know that it's a very effective drug, causes a very euphoric feeling, and now individuals have illegally manufactured it and produced drugs on the street. As we see in this picture, that top left photo of OxyContin, that's what you would get in an orange pill bottle. On the right, it's laced with fentanyl on the streets. Yeah. I think because when they make the authentic ones, they make it in a bigger batch, so there's more room for a little bit of error. And obviously, with the fake batches, they make them in a lot smaller quantities because they're trying to hide it. They don't want to bring attention to it. But honestly, can you tell me the difference between those two, really, other than the fact that up close and personal, it looks a little dusty? And how many of us really look at our pills before we take them? You should, but I take the same allergy medicine every single day. 9 times out of 10, I don't really look at it because I'm getting it out of the original bottle. Now, if I'm on vacation and I put everything in the same container, yeah, I might take a glance at it to make sure I'm taking the right thing. But somebody getting this from somebody's friend, I mean, how many of us share pills? How many of us have an Advil? We have a headache and we're like, hey, who has Advil around? And somebody just hands you the pill, not actual Advil bottle. You wouldn't know the difference. That's the sad part. So that's the hidden danger behind it, and it only takes a few grams. The DEA actually takes 90% of the stuff they take off the streets, has 5 times the lethal dose in it. So you're basically playing Russian roulette when you take something from somebody else. And the sad thing is, it isn't just tied to opioids anymore, like I said. We're seeing it more and more in vapes. We're seeing it more and more in THC and marijuana and edibles as those become more popular. The reason this is added, sadly, as consumers, well, how do we make more money? The product's more potent, right? So let's add something that makes it more cost-effective for the person making it, and it also brings back more customers. Yeah, I might lose 1 or 2 in the process. Yep, exactly. And that's the sad part. So opioids have become mainstream news, so okay, more and more people aren't taking opioids, so let's add it to other things. Most teens are vaping. Most teens are using marijuana and THC. So there's a market for it. And now we're seeing more and more. I go to school nurses for a lot of things, and they have at least this one school that I went to, the month before school ended, the ambulance came 4 times for students because of this. It was mixed with some type of drug. It wasn't, they couldn't obviously give me those specifications, but I can tell you it wasn't tied to opioids. So, I want to arm people with recognizing the signs, because more and more you're going to see this. So, real quick, you can go to. So, obviously, somebody who's unresponsive. I know there was somebody in here earlier who trained you on Narcan, which is great. Everybody should be carrying it. But when you come upon somebody who is unresponsive, sometimes they may not have drug paraphernalia just lying around. They might just be unconscious. These are some of the signs you want to look for. You want to look for unresponsive. You want to look for those choking, gargling noises, because what the opioid does is slows their respiratory system down to the point where they can't breathe. Their body becomes very limp. You can actually move them and kind of pull them to the side, and they won't even feel it. They're breathing shallow, maybe not there at all. They have pinpoint pupils, and a lot of times they're starting to feel cold to the touch because their blood's not circulating. So those are just some of the signs. The first thing you should do is call 911 immediately, which I'll get to here in a second. The next thing, if you have Narcan, this is when you use it. I'm glad somebody was here to give Narcan out, because about 5 years ago, part of my job was Narcan training. I rolled my eyes like, really? Do I really have to do this? But it was mandatory part of my job. 2 years after that training, I used it in a situation where I never thought I would have to use it. I was down my shore house. My neighbor came knocking on my door and said her husband was in the bathroom, passed out, and she couldn't get in there. I assumed a 60-year-old Caucasian male, probably suffering from a heart attack. That's what I assumed. I didn't think anything of it. He's not the typical profile or the stereotype or anything that you see. But no, he had gotten injured about 20 years ago on the job, and his doctor no longer prescribed him Percocets, so he went to the streets to get to them, and it was laced with fentanyl. And my Narcan saved him. And now he's here today to speak on that. Because he knew it was addictive. That's the problem. Doctors give you these prescriptions knowing they're addictive, and their only recourse is to stop prescribing. They don't help you in that between stage. This isn't like a cigarette where you can stop cold turkey. So, yeah. Yep. So with those 2 things that I'm giving you, recognizing the signs and using Narcan, I want to go over this Good Samaritan law. Because I was a kid once. I went to high school. I went to parties. I went to gatherings. And there would always be that individual who would bring something to the party they weren't supposed to. So there's 2 laws here in Delaware that will protect you from any type of civil or criminal prosecution. One is if you ever use Narcan on somebody, or if you ever perform CPR on somebody, and I hate to say it, we're in a society when somebody helps, some people find that as an opportunity to sue. This protects you. You can act in good faith, and nobody can bring any prosecution against you. The other one is the one where if you're at that party or you're hanging out with friends at the park and somebody brings something, somebody takes it, and it turns into a not so good situation, if you call 911, police will not ask you any questions. They won't arrest you. They will not, you won't be liable for any civil lawsuits from the family or anybody. You're acting in good faith. You called 911 and you're getting that person help. I've been in many situations as a kid where somebody took something, it went awry, and the party just dispersed. And that person's lying there helpless because everybody's afraid that they're going to get in trouble. Or if I stay, they're going to think I sold them, or I brought them, or I did this. But ultimately, we want to save that person's life. That's the main goal of it. So these 2 laws here will help protect you against that, because I hate to say, the first thing that runs through anybody's mind when something goes wrong is, how will this affect me? And how am I going to get in trouble for it? Which is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like to carry Narcan. Like I said, I go to middle school schools all year long, and I asked the students, I said, if you could carry something that could save somebody's life, why aren't you doing it? And the number one reason is, my friends will think I do drugs because I carry Narcan. So the perception is I rather look cool and not look like I do it rather than have something in my pocket that could save somebody's life. So we're trying slowly to switch that mind frame. It's going to take a while. There's a lot of stigma built up in this society about these things, and it's going to take one person at a time. But hopefully, knowing that there are laws to protect you, maybe will give you that kind of encouragement to be that person that carries those products. So like I said, I always leave with resources. These are national resources. Everybody knows these. But the next slide, No More's obviously has funding through this. This is what we do on a daily basis. I work with all these agencies. Probably some of them are here. They all provide mental and substance use prevention resources, therapy, addiction services, strictly for kids and teens and families, because that's the name of the game. Most people who are addicted in their adult years started before the age of 18. So obviously, where this presentation was about opioid prevention, where does prevention start? Sadly, elementary school age. That's where I need to be. So I need to make sure I don't leave you with resources and then you go to call and they go, well, we don't deal with kids. Because Nemours is even behind the 8 ball. None of our mental health facilities provide substance use therapies. So we have to look outside too. Our tables outside, all of what I talked about, we have handouts for, we have information for, so please come visit myself and Zach. We'll be here probably not till the end of the event because I had a prior commitment before this, but we will be here for the next at least hour, so please come to our table. And I appreciate all of you who are here and whoever's online listening. Hopefully, my goal in all this is saving one life at a time, because then I was put here for a reason. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Welcome to a moment of calmness from One A Day. That's right, a calming moment from a vitamin brand. Wait, don't zone out yet. One A Day multivitamins help provide nutritional support for your well-being as part of a healthy lifestyle. Whether you're navigating a busy day or seeking quiet reflection, One A Day vitamins are here for you. Choose clarity, choose wellness, choose One A Day multivitamins. Science that matters for nutritional support. Grab your One A Day vitamins at your favorite retailer today.
Oh, there we go.
Hello. See, I told you.
Welcome to the Monthly Purpose, you
The
guys.
Monthly Purpose. How are we feeling today? Good? You had a fun, you had a good food? Did you do the flash mob dance? Awesome. Thank you so much. This is an awesome show. We're here for you, and it's dynamic, right?
One of the coolest shows I think I'm going to do today because there's so much going on out there. There's so much energy in here. Like, this is my first time being to the party event, so this is awesome, man. Thank you guys for having me up today.
Awesome, awesome. Alrighty, so this show is brought to you by...
So all brought to you by the Department of Health and Social Services. That is an amazing resource here in the state of Delaware for mental health, addiction, substance use, even therapy resources, Narcan training, just about anything you can think of in behavioral sciences. Definitely hit that website. It's a ton of resources for you.
Yep. So now this is when we say, who's in a room? So you got to shout out what you represent. It could be an organization. It could be yourself. Nonprofit. It don't matter. Shout it out.
I'm representing the Kudos of Xi chapter for Phi Delta Kappa.
All right, kudos. Anybody else?
Who else
Miss
we got?
Heather, okay, over there.
Okay, got
Miss
you, got you.
Dion.
Hi, I'm Dion Cornish with Brandywine Counseling and a proud Delaware prevention partner.
Woo! Brandywine Counseling and, all right.
Dion's also a 5-year party veteran.
Yes, she is. All right, who else? I think Miss Heather wanted to say something.
I got you, young lady.
Yes, Belfont Lions.
Woo! Lions in the house.
Anybody
Oh,
else?
Cammy's here, wants to say something. Here she is, the front. And then Michael.
Hi, I'm a member of the Belfont Lions and the Delaware Ballroom Dance Branch Club, which is the first performing arts club in the district.
You see? Service. He has his hand up.
Michael McCline from Wilmington United Youth Coalition, also a DPP member.
Ooh, awesome. All righty.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shay Frisbee. I'm also a Belfont Lion, and I am a Senate District 5 candidate.
Woohoo! I love it. So the energy and what we do, we're trying to build a community. Look around you, see who's not here. So this show is at Bellevue Community Center in person and streaming. So whoever's not here, please talk about we have someone else? Who? Woo! DOJ.
Welcome in. Also, we also stream this show live, so for those that are watching at home, definitely comment, like, share, tell folks about what we do, the fun that we have here at the Monthly Purpose, and maybe some of those online viewers can be in-person viewers too.
Yep, we're trying to build a positive community. Boy, do we need it, right? And each one teach one. That's what Scott says. It's all about bring people together and positive. Oh, it's each one teach two, okay?
So they've been asking us all day what the theme of the day is, and for the first time since we've done this, me and Hyatt don't know. So it's gonna be a surprise for both of us. What's the theme we got today?
Volunteering! All right.
So one of the things that I love most when you're volunteering is just the feeling that you get from doing it and being able to help somebody else or spend time. I just recently did a food drive at the Milford Food Bank with the MHA, and it was a great time had. So what about you? What do you like most about volunteering?
So service fills my soul. Like if I'm not volunteering and helping, something is wrong. So the idea is helping. You know, Cammie just talked about service doesn't denounce it because that's what she's passionate about, right? Is whatever you passionate about, share it with people. And then that brings in people, that helps you, that helps other. So a smile is a service, right? If nothing else, you could do that. So whatever you're passionate about, share it with the world, because that's how we make the world a better place.
Absolutely. And that's a great segue into our goals. So every Monthly Purpose episode, we have a set of goals that we try to accomplish with each show. And today's show, with all the vendors and all the people that took a time out on their Saturday to come volunteer, couldn't think of a better one than to be inspired to volunteer somewhere, whether that's at a food bank, an animal shelter, if pets are your gig, even after school programs, even senior centers. Most people don't think elderly community needs some folks too.
Yep, So, and expand the amazing community we built, right? It's about assessing what is there, the need, and how can we fill the need, right? So go look around, what's missing. We have a school, you guys at Mount Pleasant, they do some community service. We do community service. But how about all of us combined together do the impact, right? And that's all about. So, in coming monthly purpose show, that is what we're building. Come join us. It's every third Thursday.
Absolutely. So instead of hearing us continue to talk about what volunteering means, check out what the community feels about volunteering.
Volunteering means to me it's a heart of service. It's giving back to individuals that need it most.
Volunteering to me is doing something not for any gain, simply just doing something because you want to help. The reason I believe it's important is because I believe if everybody has the mindset of, instead of what can I gain from something and what I can do for this person, then I feel like that'll really help the world heal itself.
Volunteering is more than just giving your time. It's giving your heart. Personally, for me, working where I work at the Hope Center, I find it's important to show up when you volunteer in good spirits, and if you can't, it's not worth showing up. Because if you're going to decide to volunteer to help someone, they need your joy, they need your hope, they need your love. It's like, how are you doing today? Like, thank you for coming out. We're so happy to see you. It makes a world of difference.
Volunteering to me is something that allows your love to come through. You can give people a hope they didn't know existed just by showing up to say, hey, I'm here because I really do care. I want to see the impact of a smile back on your face. This situation is not the end of the story. Volunteerism takes you out of being confined to a set regimen of lines where you can be outside the box. Every human being needs something different and more beautiful. And volunteerism is such a beautiful way to express that you want to help. It doesn't take money, it doesn't take political nuances, it just takes a willing heart to want to see somebody do better, be better, have better. And it just takes a little bit of time.
That was amazing, right? What she said, do better, feel better. What was that? All right, so now we heard a lot of awesome stuff. Now it's up to you. Chime in and say, what does volunteer mean to you? So raise your hand so Derek will come to you and we get to say your piece. What does, all right?
All right. Young lady, there you go.
I do a lot of volunteer work at my school, and I do it just to help out. It's good to see a smile on other people's faces.
Yep, I agree.
Awesome.
Volunteering for me, I feel like, is a way to give a piece of yourself back to the community that helps you grow. And it's a way to help us all grow as a collective instead of just rising up on your own.
I love it. Collective instead of rising alone.
Absolutely.
Come on, who else? We are talking about what does volunteer mean to you, and if you want to say talk.
Volunteering to me, it's very important to me. Giving back to your community, giving back to everything around you, I find it's important. We come from the world, so I think it's important that we give back to the world.
Woo, love it. Powerful.
How old are you, bro? How old are you?
He's in 11th grade.
Good God, big boy. If y'all see the size of this young man, he's huge, dude. Way to go,
That is
dog.
awesome. Come on in.
To me, volunteering is when we can embrace, truly love the responsibility of creating our future together. And so by volunteering, we are showing other people how it does, but we can use our energy to build the world that we want to build. And usually when you're coming in to say, hey, I'm here to help you, people aren't going to ask you which party you're voting for or anything like that. We can break through all of these lines by just helping out the person who's next to you. So to me, it's all about that, inspiring this contagious action where we can embrace the responsibility like holding a steering wheel so we all know where we're driving our society together.
I love love it. Contagious action. We have one here.
To me, volunteering is about, one, being an example, but also being about it and not talking about it. So just showing up and doing the work.
Showing up.
One pair of hands can do a lot. But in order to change the world, you've got to have two pair of hands.
Well said, well said.
Close this out.
I think volunteering is anything that you can do that helps the community, but I think it's also important to acknowledge how much volunteering helps the person who is performing it.
Absolutely.
Like it helps with self-esteem, it helps with connection, it helps with leadership skills and all these other different things. And I think it's also important as a person with disabilities that we encourage other people to come into that world of volunteering and not just like, oh, this is someone who can be receiving services. Like, show them that anyone has the power to make a change, to help the world, and to be part of the community and be improving the community.
Whoa, well said. Powerful, powerful. So as part of what we say as a Lion, we say Superman is not coming, but your local Lions are here to help with what's needed. So you don't have to be a Lion, but the volunteer spirit, it's up to us to change the community. If we don't like something, let's change it. All right.
Believe it or not, volunteering does have some benefits to your life. So we're going to check out 5 benefits to volunteering. So the first one, opportunity to contribute to a cause larger than oneself.
Okay.
We all share one giant planet, and the world, the building, the cities are bigger than we are. So to be part of something, just to be part of a collective of like-minded people, you get that opportunity to kind of showcase what you're capable of and what you can do.
Why not? Alrighty. Next one, feeling of accomplishment and self-worth for making positive impact. I am who I am today, 49 young. It's because of giving back and what that made help me do that. Right, and empowered me. It made me be the best person I can be because what you give is what you get 10 times, and I promise you that.
Oh man, I like this one. So volunteering providing essential services like food, assistance, education, healthcare, and disaster relief. So that gives you a chance to work with people that might be going through one of the worst days of their lives. And to be able to be there and support them through that, what you've done is create a bond with that person, and then now, if they're in a position and they see somebody else in need, that creates a bond for that person, and you just build and strengthen numbers.
Positive energy, what Scott's talking about, yeah, the contagious action. Building. What we have? All right. Personal growth and development through empathy and understanding. Because as a volunteer, I go all around as a Lion, so I get to speak at different conventions, and that I'm giving my service and it's developing my service leadership skills. And the impact I see when I'm going around, people say, wow, what you say matter. It hit me. So that's why it's so important. The words you choose matter. And when you say you have no idea what somebody's going through because you said what you said, it lit something up for them. So as you're volunteering, you're gaining skills. And whether it's leadership or working with people, that empowers you, gives you a stage. So absolutely. And last.
Yeah, something I talk about a lot is volunteering creates a ripple effect of positive change by inspiring others to get involved. We say all the time here at the Monthly Purpose, positive energy multiplies. The more you put out there, the stronger that energy gets, the more it just builds, and you end up having just an avalanche of people that are willing to be out there to help folks, to show that we can be empathetic and we can be there for each other.
Yep, absolutely. And that's our goals, right? Oh, so that leads us to Amy. You are on the spot here. So we have a guest who's going to come in and talk about what volunteer is. Amy, you want to come and then help introduce Senator Cruz.
Oh, thank you. Doesn't matter what side. Do you have a preference? All sides are bigger. Okay, perfect. Hi. And we have to get you a mic.
Yes, that would be helpful. I talk loud, but not loud enough at times.
All right, so how are you today?
I am great. I have to tell you, I know there are folks in the room. There are folks that are watching on camera today live. There are folks that will be watching after today. The energy is electrifying, not just in this room, but again, if you're watching, you can't see outside of the room. The whole Delaware Contemporary, inside, outside, is packed.
It is. It's very overwhelming, so much so and so much energy that I failed to take a moment to ask you who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself. And I mean, I know there's a picture up here, but so go ahead and introduce yourself to our group and our crew out here.
Thank you. I would love to do that. I will tell you, the first part of my introduction is I'm a Delawarean, and it's great to be with you all today. I happen to be fortunate enough to be the voice, the vehicle, the elected state senator for Senate District 1, brand new state senator. And I'm so fortunate to be able to listen to my constituents, be able to hear what they're feeling, try to bring what they need to life. And I'm also at the same time a really proud member of the United Way of Delaware team, where we get to work across the state to help people. When I talk about my role at United Way, when I talk about my elected role, it's the same. The two different vehicles to try to accomplish very similar outcomes. Both vehicles are to try to help people. There are some folks in the room today that understand some of the work that we do at United Way. They've been a part of leading that work at United Way. I see you, Shay. And there are folks that are simply members of the community that are just as important as us that sit on stage with some interesting title. We are the vehicle, I am the vehicle for their voices.
Wonderful. So I have a series of questions for you. So my name's Amy. Sorry I didn't introduce myself to you. So I am part of the monthly purpose that happens. So if you enjoy this, we want you to watch it live. Come back and see us on the third Thursday of the month. We have a very good time. And if you come back to the live, there's snacks. So not that there's not snacks here, but they're snacks. So the United Way is built on service for others. In your mind, what does the word volunteer mean to you?
Oh gosh, that's a big, fantastic question. And there are ways to answer it that are narrow and important. But when I thought about the topic and I was thinking about the conversation we get to have today, and I think about the larger room that we're in today, it opens my mind and my eyes a bit about what the actual answer to that question is. For me, and for United Way, and for all of us, I think volunteering is part of our humanity. We can answer that question with a thing that we do or an action that we take. That's incredibly important. That's the what. When you ask that question, I think about the why. Volunteerism is something that is, I truly believe, and I'm not naive and I'm not Pollyanna, it's part of what makes us human beings. It transcends our political beliefs. It transcends our individual interests and topics or where we fall on a range of issues. It's almost like I think about when you go to see a show, whether it's an art show, the lights go down and we're all the same person. We're watching a show together. So I see it as a part of our humanity, to be honest with you, where we're all exactly the same in why we come to do what we do.
I actually, that was a really good answer, and it made me think about something. I've always been engaged in different projects and different things to do service, and it's changed over a little bit of time. My father had passed away about 3 years ago, and a friend of mine had said, you should, do Wreaths Across America, like you would like it. They do it at Bear, it's very nice. And so I had signed up on the internet to do it, and the guy had called, and he's like, I'm so underwater, like there's so much to do. And I was like, well, you called the right person, I'll help you. And I was able to help him that day during the event. I'd never been to it before, but what I found was that day there were 10 other volunteers that looked just like me that had lost their parents that were laying a wreath, and we had that connection, and I said, I am in. And so it was just that moment of that movement of how we could all volunteer together. So yeah, I got that from your answer, like it crossed everything. I have too many papers and my paper fell. So in your thoughts, how does volunteering affect the person who is volunteering as well as the recipient?
Oh my gosh, it's been said a couple of times in a couple of different ways. And if you volunteered ever, then you know what I'm talking about. And also, if you may have not felt like you have formally volunteered, like I signed a sheet and I did a thing and they gave me a badge, we should also remember that volunteering takes so many different forms. It can literally mean being here today, you are a volunteer. Attending today, you're a volunteer. So there's lots of different ways to really understand what volunteering means. And I talk a lot, I'm sorry. I'll be mindful of it. But to get to the answer to your question, this is a little bit of a selfish answer. We get so much more by volunteering than we may actually even give. Not the purpose of volunteering, I completely get it, but the soul fulfillment, the camaraderie, the new relationships. We're doing good, and there's an ROI, which sounds very business-like, sorry, like return on investment by giving 10 minutes or $10 or $10 and 10 minutes that fills our souls and reminds us of who we are as human beings, regardless of whether we're Republicans, Democrats, we are focused on animal welfare or senior citizens. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we sit around an actual or a metaphorical dinner table, and we're all the same people.
So how do we encourage people to volunteer? How do we get people involved? What would you say to someone to get them to volunteer?
Yeah, great question, because that big V word can sound intimidating. Like I have to be an expert in this, or I have to have hours of time to do that. You need to have minutes. You need to know and have an understanding of what you're passionate about or what you do well. There's room for anything that you do well at any organization in this state. You can march, you can walk, you can be behind the scenes and help with filing, you can have a professional skill. Every single person in this room and in the big room has a role to fill their soul for volunteering. And so the first thing I would say is we should all get over ourselves. We've all got something to give. Destigmatize that we don't know what to do. And in a very simplistic answer, call me, email me.
Yeah.
United Way of Delaware is an organization that if you don't know what to go or what to do, regardless of watching this today, follow up with me or United Way of Delaware. We work with so many community-based organizations across the state. We're not the end-all, be-all, but we can be the one door in and the one door out. We'll take care of you. We'll make your need meet a need.
So, yeah, agree. I'm not sure how much you were able to walk around and see what was going on. So for those of you that are watching live from home, we are at the Party 5 Community Thrives event, right? So this is the 5th year of the party, which is Delaware's largest community service event. So I have already volunteered myself today doing a few things, putting together some bags, writing some notes to people to feel good. So my last question to you for today is, I know you feel the energy and you feel the excitement. So what do you think, or how do you think we could get the Party 5 to be Delaware's largest festival? And, I think of a festival like this, right? Like different things that, I know we have Firefly and some other festivals, but how do we make the party the largest festival in Delaware?
Yeah, so number one, congratulations on being in the 5th year. Things don't last 5 years. Let's get real about that. It could be a flicker and a flame and then a burnout. If we're 5 years strong, growing every year, I will tell you what that means. That tells me, and I hope it tells you, and it tells you, this is bigger than a music festival. This is a movement. And movements transcend individual, really cool, badass Saturday events, whether it's a music festival or a food festival. Those things are really great, and we come together and we have fun. You got all that there. What's different here, and what will make this the event of the state, is that this is something that relates to everyone. You don't have to be a foodie. You don't have to be a music buff. You have to be a human being that cares about human beings. And you can like food, and you can like music, And we can make certain that this is even more accessible for folks in Kent and Sussex County. But y'all are on to something. There's some secret sauce here. It may not be on the surface level. We're tapping into something that's core inside of our DNA. That's why it lasts 5 years. Really great planning, don't get me wrong. Kudos. You can't just have a movement without amazing leaders and planners behind it. But there's something magical about what this is tapping within us as humans, particularly, I won't get on a political soapbox, but particularly in this day and time, regardless of your political stripes, we feel a certain way about a whole lot of stuff. But I feel like we can shake it on a day like today.
Yeah.
And we can say, regardless of what you believe in politically or environmentally or emotionally, we're here for each other as human beings. And that, I think, is the secret sauce of today and how we're going to get to where you want to go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the conversation. It was very, very nice to meet you and talk with you. And, you know, thanks our guests for coming. Senator Cruz, right? And again, if you enjoyed this, stick around, and I will give it back over to Derek and Hyatt.
The monthly
That was
purpose,
so powerful. Can we have
a
another
monthly
round of
program
applause?
designed to help you live a happier, healthier life. Community-based and expert-supported. Entertaining, understanding, and enriching. Tune in, find an episode that speaks to you, and share it with someone you care about. The monthly purpose. It's not just a show, it's a community.
All right, so let's see what we got coming up next after such an amazing, amazing conversation.
I think it's a toolbox, but thank you. That was so powerful. Can we have another hand of applause for that? Awesome. All right. Now, the toolbox.
Yes. Hello, hello everybody. I'm going to thank Senator Dan Cruz one more time because he reached out to us. He reached out to the party. We did not seek out that. We're a small thing that's trying to be big, but this is a person who sees something in the community and actually reached out, was proactive, and so I want to thank the senator again for choosing to be a part of the party. All right. I have a toolbox. So in every show of the monthly purpose, we have a segment called the toolbox. What the toolbox is it is basically we try to give you a little bit of something that can help you live a healthier, happier, more fulfilling life, a more purposeful life, if you will. So I am going to tell you, because there's actually a story that I'm going to tell you has 5 aha points. And with these 5 aha points, and an aha, if you haven't heard it before, is sort of when you hear something new that you haven't heard before, or you experience something and you're like, aha! And from now on, you can't see the world the same. Like something has changed in your world. So I'm going to tell you a very quick story because the toolbox doesn't have much time, but these 5 ahas are actually used to do what we're calling changing norms. So my first question is, does anyone know what a norm is? A societal norm or a cultural norm. What's a norm? That's right. Basically, norms are sort of unspoken rules and ways of being that we do in society. Now, the thing is some norms can be helpful and good, like saying hello and please and thank you, opening doors. But then there's other norms that maybe aren't so great in certain areas. Maybe there's trash on the ground, which is maybe not a great norm, and other ones there's no trash, which is maybe a healthy norm. So the Starfish Caster story is to help you change norms and to understand that an individual can actually change a societal norm. And this is how. And then in your brochures there for the monthly purpose, there are actually prompts, 5 little questions. So you can go home, and the idea is that this model can be connected to whatever norm you want to change, whether it's in your personal life or in the community. So you can take that home and fill it out. You can also refill it out again and again for whatever norm you're trying to change. But here's how it goes. Once upon a time, there's a beach called Dead Starfish Beach. They called it Dead Starfish Beach because every night starfish would wash up. Hold on, one back. Yep. They'd wash up one at a time, and they would die there. It had happened for so long that everyone in the community said, it is what it is. It's Dead Starfish Beach. Don't go by there. It smells. It's nasty. So some people were born, and they'd never seen anything but Dead Starfish Beach. And they all say it is what it is. Well, One day, an old man is walking next to Dead Starfish Beach, and he sees a little girl who's out there slowly finding starfish that are still living from the night before and throwing them to safety. The old man sees this and says, "What are you doing, little girl?" And she says, "I'm saving the starfish." At that, the old man kind of giggles to himself. "Little girl, this is Dead Starfish Beach. You're only throwing one. 50 starfish wash up every night and die. You're not going to make a difference throwing one." At that, the little girl bent down. She found one that was still living, and she tossed that one into the ocean. She said, "Well, sir, it's going to make a world of difference to the one that I do throw back." This is the classic Starfish Caster story, but the first aha is this, that every single action you do makes a difference. So right now, if you're thinking about your own life, Dead Starfish Beach is a metaphor for what are the norms that you think are unchangeable. It could be racism, it could be poverty, it could be anything that you think is changing. So you might think, I can't end racism, I'm one person. But if I was to intervene once with someone to help them calm down or stop racism, it's gonna make a world of difference to the person I helped. So we gotta think about this, that every action makes a difference. But the old man says, "Oh, so what? You're only gonna maybe save one or two. More will wash up." Well, at that, the little girl says, "Well, what if, boom, what if the one, boom, what if the one that I throw back, boom again, goes in to the ocean, sees its starfish heading towards the beach and says, 'Yo,' in its own language, 'stay away from there, we're dying.' So maybe the one that we help can go back into the community and actually help others." This aha is aha number 2, which is, boom, your action not only makes a difference, it ripples beyond your sight. It does. There's no end to these actions. So at that, the old man's like, "Oh, okay, next slide." And he looks down where the little girl has been, there was actually sand. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you mean this is an actual beach? I go down to Florida every year, but right here in Delaware, we have a beach? I can't believe it." And that's when he realizes, he's like, "Oh my gosh." He starts looking around, and he gets this realization. And what is he says, "Oh no, oh my gosh, Dead Starfish Beach?" Why, it is Dead Starfish Beach, because it's the world I accept as normal. So every day when I walk by and say, "It is what it is, it's Dead Starfish Beach," I actually allow everyone to understand it's Dead Starfish Beach, and it becomes more Dead Starfish Beach. I allow it to get worse. So the third aha that we realized is, it is what it is until I do something about it. And the actual aha is this next one, which is, there is no neutral actions. So the first thing, every action you do makes a difference. The second thing, it ripples. But the third thing is, every action you do is either gonna help make things better, or it's gonna allow it to get worse. This is why we have to be active. Maintenance, we have to be constantly helping each other out. So the first aha, who can tell me what the first one was? It's in your paper. Every action makes a difference. The second one, actions ripple. The third, there are no neutral actions. That whatever you're doing is either helping or hurting. Now here's a really important one, boom. The old man decides, you know what? Even if I don't see Dead Starfish Beach be clean, I want my actions to be good. I want to be working towards solutions. So he embraces the responsibility. That's not me, okay, just so you know. Embraces the responsibility. And at that, he says, "You know what, little girl? I'm going to help you." So now the old man, slide, goes to the beach and starts helping the other girl. And what happens is other people see this. They're like, "Yo, what are they doing on the beach? Yo, what are you guys doing? Hey, we're saving the starfish." "Oh, you can't do that." "Well, watch us." And this is one of the most important ones. Boom. Action is contagious. That's why trash-covered street is trash-covered street, because the people who there consider it normal, so they just continue that contagious action. The same thing. So there are some streets in Wilmington where if you picked up a piece of trash, someone would be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" There's another piece of street in Wilmington where if you threw down a piece of trash, people would be like, "What are you doing?" Who gets to choose what the street is? Who? The people on the street, right? So the main part here with that action, this is what this whole party is about, is that if each of us start doing these contagious actions, volunteering, those around will hear it. "Hey, where'd you go this weekend?" "I went and I did 50 service acts." "Oh, can I come next time?" And we can turn the tide of our energy. Now, the last part of this is that a scientist comes up and says, "Little girl, you're doing this all wrong. What's happening in the ocean that is causing the starfish to come to the beach? There's a systematic thing maybe. You're just putting a Band-Aid on." So the little girl says, "Well, you're a scientist. Can you do that, figure that out? And I'm going to keep doing this." Then a chef comes and says, I want to help, but I can't touch a starfish and also cook the pasta. So they said, okay, well, maybe you could bring your food truck here, give us 15% off if people come and help clean the beach. He says, I can do that. And guess what? 6 area restaurants will give you a discount if you were at the party tonight. It's happening right here. We're doing Starfish Beach in real time right here. So the next thing is a person says, I hear what's happening. Can I write a song about it? Sure. A videographer says, I can make a video for your song. The politician comes in and says, I could maybe make some zoning changes. And what we learn is what? The last aha. Everybody has, oh, it's in white, so you can't see it. Can anyone see white on white? It is that everybody has their own role, their unique role. This is what I love so much about the party. You have 50 different groups here. No one's doing the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. We're all here to help the community, but we're all doing it in different ways. We are a quilt, not a blanket. So our community, you can be who you are. You can stay who you are. You don't have to go out of your zone, and you can be part of cleaning the beach. And what is cleaning the beach? It is choosing the world we wish to live in by being, boom, the contagious action. So this is maybe what the world could be, but let's go one more slide. We're gonna end it with this. What actually, oh, sorry. Dead Starfish Beach could be just rapid fire. It's not a beach, it could be racism, sexism, addiction, bullying, all of these things that we accept as normal. It's not normal. We can choose the new normal. And how do you do that? Boom. You choose to be, boom, the contagious action. Thank you very much. So what's the tool? The tool is take this story in your little worksheet. You can write down, I want to maybe clean up my neighborhood. So you write down, what's the first action? I could pick up trash. What would happen if I pick up trash? My neighbors would see me. What would happen if I don't? More trash would come. So use that tool to figure out how to turn around the norms in your community. Thanks for being at the party. Back to Derek.
All right. If you guys are inspired by what you heard by attending, this is our 10-second share. Please let us know. Like he said, be the contagious action. What have you felt? What energy have you felt? What are you going to do after today? 10-second share. Anything that you felt that you want to do?
Hello, everyone. So when I was younger and in high school, I did a lot of community service. Since obviously now I'm a mother of 3 and full-time job, I don't have a lot of extra time. My children all do community service, but it does really remind you that you should also continue to contribute in your own capacity. So I'll definitely be looking for ways that I can do different things to support the community around me, for sure.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else want to say something that you were inspired to do?
Hi, so we're a new nonprofit, actually. This is our first year, and we're out. Part of our reason for being out today is to network and build relationships, and we have done just that. I'm really inspired, and we've got a lot of information. We've got some possible partnerships. Today is just blown our minds. I'll speak for myself and my VP. So if you have a thought, a dream, a seed, just take it and go with it. Slowly, one day at a time, pray, meditate, get yourself out there, meet people, find out what they have that you can use, and offer what you have so they can use it, and it just grows.
Absolutely. And this is intentional. We have created intentionally to be this way, and we could do more with your help. So join us. QR code is here. So did we accomplish today's goal?
I think we did. After what that young lady just shared with us and her experience being here at the party and being able to network and meet new people, I think we did hit our goals, and she kind of confirmed it for us today.
Absolutely, you did. So we end the show with a selfie. So if you can all come around here, we'll take a group picture. So thank you so much. But we do have, but stick around for the selfie.
Everybody in the room, come on up to the front.
Folks, stick around and go tell your folks to come back. We have the monthly Focus, which is another show that's going to inspire. And it's all done by our youth at the community center.
Pass, check. Bag, spray ground. Made to move, built.
All right, buddy, how's everybody doing today? All right. I'm Lilo. And I'm Milan. And welcome to the Mini Monthly Focus. All right, so this month's focus is Community Thrive. So let's start off with our sponsors, and we have the Delaware Prevention Partners,
PYC, Planet Youth Coalition.
and the Kids Department.
Now we have Who's in the Room. Basically, you can shout out a club, organization, or maybe just you. So, who's in the room? You. What'd you say? A to youth? Zeta youth.
Okay.
Okay.
Plus we got
Ikembe. HFAM. Okay. Girl Scout Group.
5432.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Anyone else
is in the room? We know that.
There are a lot of organizations out there. I know you guys are here.
Yeah, when we finish, you guys should definitely go check them out if you haven't already.
Okay.
All right. So now we have show highlights. So first we have This or That Service Edition.
The Ripple Effect.
And top 10 reasons community service is important.
An interview with Miss Hayat. So let's get started.
Okay, so here are our crew achievements. We've been together for a long time and we've had a lot of accomplishments.
Yeah.
So one of them is we've had 4 seasons of this show. And season 5 starts in September.
Over 150 videos produced this year, and over 400 over the last 4. Like, that's a lot, guys. That is a lot. I don't remember doing all that.
3,500 plus youth hours spent in programming this past year.
The 2024 Governor's Service Award winners. I remember that.
I remember that. That was a fun event. And over 440 volunteer hours this year and more than 1,000 hours in the last 2 years.
You know what? Pat on the back for us, bro. Pat on the back. All right. Now we have Ask the Audience.
What do you do for your community? Raise your hand and we'll come around.
Anybody? Okay.
Hello. So I'm a part of the Zeta Youth. We're a sorority. And so we do street cleanups as well as helping out at the Ronald McDonald House and just helping out in the community a little here, a little there. But you'll see us around somewhere. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Anybody?
I work for the United States Postal Service, so I deliver mail and packages to everybody and make sure that their stuff is secured.
Thank you.
All right, that's very important.
Anybody else?
I'm a social worker, and I help people that are disabled and the elderly.
Thank you.
One thing that I do, I'm a music educator, so I teach drums and percussion, the history of them, and do it for all youth, every age.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so why service? How about because of the ripple effect?
Say you help one person.
And then when they feel better,
They want to help other people.
who then helps somebody else,
And then so on.
and so on.
And
So on.
That's
why. Now we have a video break.
Check out some of our videos.
Coming soon from the cause on the 988 Lifeline. De-Stress 302, the podcast where real people share real stories, tips, and conversations about mental health in the first date. Bringing together experts and those with lived experiences, De-Stress 302 is coming soon. This show is brought to you by the cause and the 988 Lifeline.
When you think about health issues, right? If I had a cut on my hand, everybody could look at it and say, oh, this guy has a cut on his hand, right? He needs to get that taken care of, right? If I walked in here and I had a cut on my hand and there was blood coming out, people would be like, you need to get that taken care of. Maybe somebody would call 911. But if I walked in here and I had a cut on my heart, would you see that? Would people know that? And so it's much harder to identify. And we need to make sure the resources are readily available, and we do everything we can to make sure that individuals who have that cut on their heart, who feel like they've been stabbed or hurt deep down inside, have places to go and know that there's a loving, supporting network to make sure that there's a better way.
Subscribe to De-Stress 302 today.
And now we have This or That with Alana
and Kevin.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I love the energy. So today we're going to be playing This or That. And This or That is basically like Would You Rather, which you're going to be picking from this or that we will be showing. Is everyone ready? Then let's get started.
Yeah, so our first example is going to be, would you rather go to the pool
Or to the beach.
I'm hearing a lot of this.
Wait. I need to feel the energy tonight since we're at the party 5. Please, scream out. I heard a lot of this.
I definitely did hear a lot of this.
Okay, next. Cleaning up a beach.
Or cleaning up the park. I don't know, it's a little mixed.
Wait. I thought this was the party 5. Where's the hype?
I don't know, I think it's 50-50
It's
split.
50-50. Very
All right,
50-50.
If you want to clean up,
Whoa, wait.
Can we go back? If you want to clean up at the beach, can we get some noise?
And if you want to clean up at the park, let me hear you guys.
I don't know, I think that was the park.
The park. Okay, now going to a carnival?
Or going to the water park. I don't know, there's a lot of that.
Wait. I just need to clarify. One more time, this or that. It was this. It was definitely. Okay, next one. Donating clothes.
Or helping at a book drive. I'm definitely hearing a lot of that.
Wait. This is the biggest community service in Delaware today. We're here for the Party 5. Can I please hear something? It was definitely that.
Definitely that.
Okay, playing video games with friends.
Or going outside. Oh, come on.
Is it actually this?
I think this is a very clear-cut answer right
Is
here.
it this? Really?
Definitely this.
Wow. Okay, next one. Helping at an animal shelter.
Or helping at a soup kitchen.
Okay, wait. Everybody loves animals now, but I understand that everybody likes to help, but I need to hear the energy. What would you rather do?
That's a great answer
That's
right
a
there.
good answer too, but I got a lot of this though.
Yeah. All right, and now we'll be having an interview with Alana. Can we have Miss Hyde up here?
Just so you know, every video, everything that is done here are done by the youth. They wrote the script. Every video shows for them. So please give them a shout out. They're awesome.
So Ms. Hayat, how are you doing today and how are you liking the party so far?
Amazing. It's all about the energy. It's people who you surround with. So this has been amazing. And Party 5 rocks.
I'm so glad. What made you want to help people and make a difference?
All right, so I will tie it into, you guys had the mental health that the youth are doing. So for me, I am bipolar, but bipolar is not me. So what I realized when helping somebody in my community ended up helping me. So I say for selfish reasons. So helping really what it did, by doing that, my mental health got better. And because of that, what the feedback that I got people, how I helped them, the contagious action is real. So I keep doing that. So as 49 young, I am here because of what I gave and what is coming back to me. So that's why I help.
If you could tell me one thing about what service means to you, what would it be?
Service is about filling your soul with so much love, and it's overfilling, and the feeling it gives you is so great. So even as smiling, right? If you got nothing, just smiling at people, it changes your energy. Just today, I am just setting up our table that we have there, and whatever energy I gave, this woman come back and said, thank you for being you. I'm like, what did I do? She said, the energy you gave. So you have no idea what somebody's going through just by being your positive self. You are doing a service. So like I just made me like, okay, right? I knew that, but it's just hearing that, I'm like, ooh, really be mindful. And I want you to hear it. Who you are, how you show up, you're doing service for others. So I want to keep talking about that so people get that.
I just want to say something with that. I agree what you say because I've known you for 4 years now, if we count this year, and almost every time you have helped me so much whenever I talk about my problems, whenever I say family updates, when I give you family updates about me, you always try to help me, and I want you to know that I appreciate that.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Out of all the service projects you have done as a Lion, which one was your favorite, and why was it your favorite?
Okay, so when we went to our global trip, so we went to India and we went to Morocco. What people can accomplish when they come together for a goal, seeing the abject poverty. Like, in America, there's poverty, but in other countries, and I'm telling you, it doesn't compare. So I'm not minimizing here, but what others live through and what people just come up and say, there's a need. So we were feeding people in India who are called the untouchables because their parents catch rats, so they are not touched. So we fed about 500 kids that day. And it was like, wow, that's what Lions do. And then there was another Lions group where they went and helped women, elderly from 60 and up who had nobody. So these Lions Club identify a need. These people don't have money. And they give a month full of food. And so the impact, right? What we can do together is so much. So not individually is great, but go around your neighborhood and say, what can we do? How can I help? Every little thing you do matters, and do it intentionally. So that makes me be intentional, connect with people, talk about what I do. So I say, what do you do? And how can I help you with what I'm doing? Because we're doing it together.
Now, would you like to say anything, give any advice to everyone here and people who are watching today?
So when you give of yourself, you really get a lot of back. When I came, I'm originally from Ethiopia. I came as 15. So when you do service, I was able to go to college, and I went to Deltec. I got scholarship because I'm talking to my teacher. Social capital is real. Talk who you are, how you show up. Because my teachers knew me, they got me scholarship to go to Deltec. Afterwards, I was at Rosemont. I didn't have money because, again, I was active in the community, in my school. What is going on? I volunteered. Because of that, I got a scholarship. I get my bachelor. Even from then, I went to my master's. I went 7 years, and I graduated with no debt, right? And it's all through volunteering. And I will tell you a secret. I've never applied for a job, ever. My husband and I, we have our own business, but I always volunteer. Any job I got, I volunteer, and people say, we want you to give a job to you. Like, I've never. So just by volunteering, you get connected. You get to show up for yourself and for people. So go out there, volunteer. That's my message.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hyatt. That's all the questions I have.
Thank you.
All righty, and now back to our host.
All right. That was amazing, you guys. Okay. So, can I have Clave up here? So, here are top 10 reasons service is important. All right, so starting with number 1, it builds strong communities. Service projects address real needs like hunger, homelessness, and public space. Public spaces making neighborhoods cleaner, safer, and more connected.
Number 2, promotes empathy and compassion. Serving others helps you understand different life experiences and develops a deeper sense of empathy and kindness.
And 3, it develops leadership and life skills. Through teamwork, planning, and responsibility, service builds critical skills like communication, organization, and problem solving.
Number 4, creates a ripple effect. One act of service often inspires others. A small project can start a chain reaction of kindness and action in the community.
And 5, it strengthens mental health. If you do something for someone else, it can make you feel better. Like how Miss Hayat was saying, she helped other people, which in turn helped her. So yeah, it strengthens mental health, and it creates a great sense of purpose.
6, builds bridges across differences. Service brings people of all ages, backgrounds, and beliefs together to work toward common goals, breaking down barriers and stereotypes.
And 7, it gives youth a positive identity. Youth gain confidence, purpose, and sense of belonging through meaningful service, and often discover their strengths along the way.
8, improves career and college readiness. Readiness? Readiness. Yeah. Okay. Volunteering looks great on resumes and applications, showing initiative, dedication, and community involvement.
9, it promotes civic engagement. Service teaches responsibility and encourages people to care about local issues, vote, and stay involved in shaping their community.
And 10, it feels good and does good. Plain and simple, helping others is fulfilling. It's a powerful reminder that we all have something valuable to give.
All right, now we have another video break.
Oh, that's easy. You guys should be able to do this. You want a harder one?
No, I like this one.
Oh, it's hard to go. Yeah. I forgot how it went. I'm sorry. Did a similar thing. That face is not comforting me. A 10-minute video. We're gonna have to do it in high speed. Dude, that's so weird. I'm scared because it's first. Don't worry, buddy. He didn't. I'm scared. Okay, I felt this. Who went wrong? Why going? Oh, that felt weird. And then, wait, I felt. I'm not if you don't notice I'm drawing anything. Well, that kind of looks good. Wait till you see the original picture. Looks like you're making a ghost. Okay. What? What? You said do less. You did less. No, not that much. Did you do it? This is a nice big little one. What? Can't give me too much. I think you did it. Nothing. You guys complained about the first one being too much. Now you're complaining this one's not enough. He did it, did you? Oh. He's done. It was a little one. Okay. No, they're not yet. Just do the whole thing. Just finish it off, because this is already 3 minutes. Alright, so this one's gonna be, that you guys complained about the last one being too simple, so now this one's super difficult. I'm sorry, Elena. Can we just start drawing if we think what it is? Like, not like... No, I wouldn't, because no one's close except for the one on Ryan's back, which is Cam's. I have no clue. I can't wait just to see my back and it's just like a person. It's just like the funniest thing about this one is you guys can't see your drawings because they're, you know what I mean, like afterward? You're gonna be looking at each other's backs. Well, it looks like it's kind of easy, but it's not at all. I just don't like that. That's okay. That's what you felt in duty.
It's black or blended. Now it looks like you're drawing Princess Leia. All right, and all right. That's it? Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
That can't be
it.
It can be. All right, now let's. Everybody want to see what the picture is? Hold it up for them.
No way.
Lights.
Come on,
Zenos and
Kevin.
kudos of PDK.
All right, so I hope y'all don't mind if I talk for more than 7 seconds, if that's okay. Now, the Xenos and Kudos are a group under Phi Delta Kappa, and throughout the entire East Coast, in every state, we call it the Eastern region, there's a group of Xenos and Kudos. I come from the Xi chapter in Chester, PA. There's actually one in Delaware as well, it's Rho chapter. But basically what this entire chapter is about, and what I personally have taken as one of my biggest life lessons is give back to what the world gave to you. And it helps not only other people, and it doesn't just bring happiness to others, it brings happiness to yourself as well. I feel like all the community service that I've did throughout all the 4 years that I've been in this group, plus the other 2 years that my grandmom's made me go outside and do community service, even though I didn't want to do it, is that I found that I became a lot better of a person, a lot nicer of a person, and a lot happier of a person just from giving back, even when I got nothing in return. Just going out to all these festivals, all these book drives, all these foods kitchens, all these soup kitchens, it's made me happy to see other people, my community, grow with me. And that's basically what we're all about as a group. Every single year, we induct a new African American youth. We bring up young men and women and help them find leadership positions. We help them grow as people. And I, for one, have definitely grown as a person since I first joined. I feel like it's definitely helped to give my life a lot more direction than it once had, just from the community service and just from those leadership opportunities that I managed to get. Every single year, we also do have an event called our Eastern Region Leadership Conference. And it's not just about the competition, even though every year we have a lot of dancers, we have a lot of step, we have a lot of singing. It's not just about that. It's about bringing each other up, and it's about helping each other. I feel like throughout the years, it's definitely become more apparent to me that community service now is more important than ever. You see around the world, there's different problems going on. We have horrible water in Detroit. The education system is seeming worse and worse every year. There's microplastics in our food, and it just seems like problems keep stacking up one on top of the other. And, you know, community service, even though it feels like a small act to so many people, it really brings happiness into a lot of lives, and it helps fix a lot of problems no matter how small. And I'm glad to have won the scholarship for this group. I've won the national scholarship for Phi Delta Kappa, and every single question on that scholarship was about community. It's about how do you help the world around you? How do you help your school? How do you help your home? How do you help places outside, maybe your church, maybe the park? Things you wouldn't even think of to be on the normal scholarship application, because it's important to help other people, and it's important to help the community, help the world. So that's my segment. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kevin. That's really great. Actually, you guys should check that out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now we have
The Outreach Moment with Elena.
Come on up here. Come on up here.
All right, guys, this month's Outreach Moment is the biggest we've had all year. And what you're going to do for this Outreach Moment is you're going to go to each of the booths out there and find a way to be a member of your community and volunteer and help with all of the opportunities that are outside these doors right here today. One of them being De-Stress 302. You can be a part of the 9th episode, the 9th and final episode. You just come to the table and I will record what you guys answer for the question, what you do for your mental health.
All right, thank you, Elena.
Thank you, Elena. Go out there and serve.
All right. So, are you having fun?
Are you between the ages of 12 and 18?
Well, if
Anyway.
you are,
Join the
join the
production crew.
Please, we need you. We have a lot of fun here, and I think you guys would enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, you see us, like, this takes a lot of work.
Yeah,
But we need people to do all that work.
We do, and we have a lot of fun events. We went to the beach a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And we go to fan expos and we meet celebrities.
I feel like that's a deal breaker. I'm just saying.
And we film videos, and we get to go fun places, and we get to travel, and we just build great relationships with each other, and we're a really fun community to be with, and we have a lot of fun. You guys should definitely
Scan that
check it out.
QR code. Also, speaking of videos, where do they go?
To our YouTube channel.
To our YouTube channel.
To our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is where we put all of our media, and it's our most successful platform at almost 100,000 subscribers. Currently.
Now we are very grateful for
Very,
our
very
current
close.
subscribers.
Right.
currently.
We have 98.2 thousand. So we're very, very close. 98.8.
Yeah, specifics.
Oh my gosh. For
Wow.
specifics, okay, 98.8 thousand, almost to 100,000. We're very, very close.
We're very close.
But
so
not
we
yet.
need you.
Yes.
All of you.
Because we're not quite there yet. And what happens when we get to 100,000?
We get a YouTube play button.
A YouTube play button. And we really want one. And if you guys like what you're seeing, if we when we get a YouTube play button, it will be at our home theater where we have our monthly focuses every night. Or not every night, every month.
Every Thursday.
Every first Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
And we will have it shining in its shining glory on our stage.
And you guys, you'll be able to like walk in and be like, huh,
we
helped
did
them
that.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel proud of yourselves.
Yes. So please scan the QR code and subscribe.
Also, don't forget to we work pretty hard on them. Go and watch some of the videos.
Yes.
Like them. I don't know. We work hard. We would appreciate the love.
Yes. All right. And
that's
all, folks.
Thank you for coming to this monthly focus, and we'll see you on August 14th
for the coffee house.
Or
open mic night. And open mic.
Peace.
See you guys. Thank you.
For those who want more out of every moment this summer, Mazda has more 2025 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand as of May 2025. What more could you ask for? Discover how Mazda has more to move you today. Visit iihs.org to learn more.